Hello everyone! Hello grade 6! I am teacher Charlotte and welcome to our math class. In today's video, we will be discussing the first topic of our quarter 2, week 2 in our activity sheet, proportion. In the first week of second quarter's instructional videos in mathematics, we have learned the definition of proportion. Let's have a quick review. Will you define what is proportion? Correct. Proportion is a name we give to a statement when two ratios are equal. As discussed on the previous videos, proportion can be written in two ways. The first way to write it is in fraction form, where A is the first term, B the second term, C the third term, and D is the fourth term. Then do the second way is using colon. We have A is to B, as to C is to D. We have the outer part, the first and the fourth term, we call it extremes. And the inner part, the second and the third term, we call it means. Then, in today's topic, we will be discussing types of proportion. The first type of proportion is the direct proportion. In this type of proportion, when one quantity increases, the other quantity increases at the same rate and vice versa. Let us take this illustration. In one house, two people will live on it. But if the number of houses increases, the number of people will also increase. So if there are two houses, 4 people will live on it. In this example, our quantity is the number of houses and the number of people. As the number of houses increases, the number of people increases too, at the same rate and vice versa. And that is what we call direct proportion. Our proportion in this example is 1 is to 2, as to 2 is to 4. Let us try this example. If Susan can bake 8 cakes in 2 hours, how many cakes she can bake in 6 hours? Let's understand more the problem. What is given in the problem? Susan can bake 8 cakes in 2 hours. From the given, we can set our first ratio. Our first ratio is 8 is to 2. What is being asked in the problem? How many cakes she can bake in 6 hours? So let us find how many cakes Susan can make in 6 hours. From the sentence, we can set our second ratio. Our second ratio is the missing term is to 6. From the two ratios we have, we can set our proportion. So our proportion is 8 is to 2, as to the missing term is to 6. What is the missing term in our proportion? Very good. The missing term is the third term. So let us find the missing term. First step is to get the cross product. So 2 multiplied to the missing term as to 8 multiplied to 6. So we have 2 is equal to 48. Then divide both sides by 2. So we can get 24. Susan can bake 24 cakes in 6 hours. We have completed our proportion. What can you notice? As the number of hours increases in baking cake, the number of cakes she can make will increase too. And that is direct proportion. Let us have the second type of proportion, the inverse proportion. We can say that proportion is inverse when one quantity increases as the other quantity decreases at the same rate and vice versa. Let's try this example. If 8 men can do the painting job in 12 days, how many men will be required to do the same job in 16 days? Let us understand more the problem. What is the given fact? 8 men can do a painting job for 12 days. From the given fact, we can now set our first ratio. Will you name our first ratio? Very good. Our first ratio is 8 is to 12. In our problem, what is being asked? We have to find how many men will be required to do the same job in 16 days. From the statement, will you give the second ratio of our proportion? Correct. Our second ratio is the missing term is to 16. From the two ratios we set, we can now form our proportion. What is our proportion? We have 8 is to 12, as to the missing term is to 16. The missing term is the third term. Let us now solve for the missing term, which is the third term. And finding the missing term in inverse proportion, we can directly multiply the first and second term and the third and fourth term. So we have 8 multiplied to 12 as to the missing term multiplied to 16. So we have 96 is equal to 16. Then divide both sides by 16 so that the unknown term will be left in the right side. Since they are equal ratio, let us divide also the left side with 16. So we have 96 divided by 16. The answer is 6. So 6 men will be required to do the painting job for 16 days. We have completed our proportion. We have 8 is to 12 as to 6 is to 16. What have you noticed in our proportion? Very good. As the number of days increases, the number of people working decreases. And that is inverse proportion. The last type of proportion is the partitive proportion. In this type of proportion, a whole is to be divided into several parts given a specified ratio. Let's try this example. Ruby, Rose, and Anne are business partners. They agreed to divide their profits in the ratio 1 is to 2 is to 3. How much should each receive if the total profit is 6,000? Let us now solve the problem. First step is to add all the units. We have 1 unit plus 2 units plus 3 units is equal to 6 units. Then 6 units is equal to 6,000. Divide both sides by 6. So we have 1 unit is equal to 1,000. Let us now multiply the value of 1 unit into parts of 1 is to 2 is to 3. Therefore, we have 1,000 multiplied to 1 unit is equal to 1,000. 1,000 multiplied to 2 units, we have 2,000. 1,000 multiplied to 3 units, We have 3,000. But we are not yet in our final answer. Since in our problem, the first name mentioned is Ruby, she will get 1 unit, which is equal to 1,000. Rose will get the 2 unit, which is equal to 2,000. And lastly, Anne will get 3 units, which is equal to 3,000. A total of 6,000 profit. Good job, grade 6! You are now ready to answer the following activities. If you have questions regarding this topic, you can ask your advisors in Mathematics 6. Good luck!